Hello and welcome to another episode of Sports with Monga, and it's ended at the Etihad Stadium. It has ended 1-0 for Manchester City. It was a pretty interesting game, to be honest with you, the way it kind of panned out. Of course, like one has to understand, it was a very tough game for both City and Newcastle. Newcastle have been on the upbeat since last year, since the last season, basically, where they have signed really, really exciting. But Tonali definitely being the most exciting one, and then they had brought in Anthony Gordon along with Livramento, and Harry Barnes, who all of them came up in the game. But what you have to commend is basically Manchester City, these players have basically played. They played 8 p.m. on Wednesday in the Super Cup final, which they won in Greece. They traveled back to England on. They traveled back to England on Thursday morning, and then it's basically been a lot of recovery only. So they've not actually trained much. But then these are such amazing talents that they've been able to kind of hold off a Newcastle side who have had more rest than them. But City has a desire and the hunger to kind of accept this challenge, which is thrown on them after Thursday, to kind of come back and win. But then it was a scruffy win, but it was a win eventually. Julian Alvarez, the World Cup winner Argentine, scoring at 31st minute. That was the sole goal of the match. There were chances on both sides. Haaland making attempts, but then the ball kind of scraping through or like just missing the far post on multiple occasions. On the other side, Newcastle had a lot of chances, with one clear chance from Wilson after Rodri chuffed a back pass. Almiron stole the ball from him, and then he made a mess of it, Wilson. And of course, a couple of chances missed by Almiron. I would say like he could have done better. But yeah, it eventually the game. It almost felt like it will be a scruffy game, and it was a scruffy game. Really, a lot of kind of hard passes and hard tackles in the game. Almost Julian Alvarez only getting booked the yellow, but on the Newcastle side, Anthony Gordon, Joelinton, Bruno Guimaraes, Tonali, all of them kind of getting booked, and in the match. I think for me though, it was interesting to see how Phil Foden now, considering Kevin De Bruyne is not playing for Manchester City because of his ACL injury, and he's out for more than around 4 to 6 months. That's the kind of expected recovery time for that. It seems that Foden has realized that he's going to step up. He needs to step up to kind of take that role with a central position and move the ball around, because that's how you could see the game moving like all around, with Foden kind of the pivotal point, and Haaland, Alvarez, and Grealish making the runs around. But this was interesting to see that Pep Guardiola now will have some time, they will have some time to kind of recover, because they've had a crazy couple of games, and they will have 1 week now kind of relaxed. They're not playing any match. The next game that they're playing is against Sheffield United next weekend, and then they play Fulham, West Ham, and Nottingham Forest. A good set of fixtures for Man City after this, and a good break as well that they should be, because they don't have Stones is kind of missing right now. They have Bernardo Silva missing. They didn't also play Rico Lewis, who's on a new contract, but also they did not play. They are missing some more players around the mid area to kind of start the games more often. But it's an exciting proposition for Pep Guardiola, and to see his sides kind of moving, because you saw now Akanji moving in the middle. But that was interesting to see that with a typical John Stones role. But what I was interested about Newcastle though is like the subs that Eddie Howe made. He basically got in Tino Livramento, who he wanted. He came in. Harvey Barnes came in. Wilson came in. Anderson played, and Longstaff. I think I'm hoping that Joelinton is not injured pretty badly, but then seeing these players also come in gives the confidence that Newcastle has the backing of like to kind of get this game moving. Newcastle will play Liverpool next, Brighton and Brentford before they play Burnley, Sheffield and West Ham. So tough set of fixtures starting for Eddie Howe's men, but I'm sure he would take positives of this game. There was clearly a lot of positives to take away. And this is how you top two sides almost like they could be top two sides of the Premier League this season. You don't know if it's just a second game, but then they met so early, so it's kind of can be interesting to see how this kind of pans out earlier or like in through the season. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like, who do you think the man of the match was? In my opinion, Phil Foden was the game, and eventually, that's what the Etihad crowd also kind of came out with. That the Phil Foden was the man of the match. Let me in the comment section below what do you think. Do like this video, do share, and do subscribe. As I've said in the previous videos, more than 1,000 people are watching these videos who are not subscribed. I would really request them to. It does not, if it's not a it's nothing, it doesn't cost you anything, to kind of click the subscribe button and push the like button as well down below. So do that. Don't forget to hit subscribe and hit the like button, and do share it with your friends and colleagues and family to kind of spread the awareness of this amazing channel, Sports with Monga. Do like us on Instagram, do give us a DM. I do keep sharing some posts as well there. There's a community that I'm trying to build around Sports with Monga. I'm doing some FPL content as well. Let me know what more would you like me to do. We can talk. Like I'm open to ideas as well. But until that time, I hope you have a nice weekend. We have more some game week, some matches tomorrow as well. I'll possibly doing a match reaction for them as well. So stay tuned and have a nice one.